Internet! I'm starting to get the feeling we're, unraveling at the seams. I mean, everywhere you look, we're being told our eyes and ears are deceiving us. Buying something is no longer owning it. Next thing you know, up really will be down. Honestly, it's getting exhausting. Anyways, today we're talking about an iconic rock figure. Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. A controversial arrest in Florida sparks new scrutiny, and a major shift in the Olympics raises fresh debate over fairness in women's sports. All in today's...
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
Episode of... But before we start, I actually missed something I should have mentioned as well. Sadly, Malcolm Jamal Warner has passed away in an apparent drowning accident at the age of 58. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's probably best known for his role on The Cosby Show as Theo Huxtable. Now, despite how you may feel about the show's namesake, Malcolm was beloved by many, and we can only hope the best for his family. Anyways, make sure you're subscribed so you're always in the loop, and let's talk about another unfortunate loss, shall we?
An iconic voice of heavy metal has fallen silent. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness and pioneering frontman of Black Sabbath, died at age 76 on July 22, 2025.
Alright, let's start by saying Ozzy Osbourne's death marks the definitive end of an era. Born John Michael Osbourne on December 3, 1948 in Aston, Birmingham, he co-founded Black Sabbath in 1968 and helped forge heavy metal classics like Iron Man, Paranoid, and War Pigs. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in early 2020, his final years were marred by health struggles. Parkinson's, emphysema, spinal injuries. But he remained a force, both on the stage and in the studio. On July 5th, 2025, he reunited with Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward for Back to the Beginning, a star-studded charity concert in Birmingham. Seated on a throne due to his illness, he closed the show with a heartfelt thanks to his fans and raised over $140 million for charity. 17 days later, in the morning of July 22nd, the world mourned his loss. His family statement read, "It's with more sadness than mere words can convey. He was with his family and surrounded by love." And as you know, Ozzy wasn't just a singer, he was a cultural powerhouse. His reality show introduced him to a wider audience, and his solo career spawned hits like Crazy Train. He sold over 100 million albums, earned a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, once with Black Sabbath back in 2006 and once solo in 2024, and became a global icon. Tributes have poured in from fellow musicians, fans, and even sports figures. Hall of Famer Chipper Jones noted that Ozzy's Crazy Train was his walk-up song, and teams like the New England Patriots paid homage to his influence. Oh, and Lady Gaga closed off one of her shows with some tributes to him too. In sum, Ozzy was more than just the Prince of Darkness. He was a trailblazer whose thunderous voice and unapologetic presence turned the metal genre into a cultural force. His legacy is etched not just in his music, but in the hearts of millions. And that legacy is immortal.
Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters and the state attorney's office say, no criminal wrongdoing occurred during a February traffic stop in which 22-year-old William Anthony McNeil Jr. was arrested after refusing to exit his vehicle.
So, this thing. Sheriff T.K. Waters in a press conference said that the viral cell phone footage of William McNeil Jr.'s February arrest was devoid of context. But the full-body camera footage released by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office raises some serious concerns about the conduct of Officer DJ Bowers. While it does appear McNeil didn't fully cooperate, he did repeatedly refuse to get out of the car, ask for a supervisor, not that there's anything wrong with that, and locked the door. The levels of force used appear a little excessive, just like this much, you know? Officer Bowers broke the car window, punched McNeil in the head before unlocking the door, and dragged him out. Though the sheriff claims McNeil wasn't sucker punched, the footage suggests otherwise. Man, they really think we're blind, don't they? It's up to you guys to get rid of that fool, by the way, just saying. McNeil was seated, not physically threatening, and clearly taken by surprise. The escalation from verbal commands to physical violence was pretty abrupt here, with no visible threat to justify the immediate strikes. The official narrative from JSO is that McNeil not only refused to exit, but also reached toward a knife found on the floorboard. That little detail right there is being heavily disputed by McNeil's attorneys, who argue he remained calm, made no sudden moves, and posed no threat, which I saw the video. Homie just sat there and took it. multiple times. They've labeled the incident brutality and demand full accountability and release of all related footage. Prosecutors found that the officers' actions did not violate the law, though now an internal administrative review is going on. Like, that's gonna bear any fruit whatsoever. At least Bowers has been stripped of law enforcement authority during the investigation. Like I said, guys, those are your people. Get rid of them. McNeil has pled guilty to resisting without violence and driving on a suspended license and served 2 days in jail. Other charges, including a seatbelt violation and failure to use his headlights in the rain, were dropped. I mean, honestly, it's like the bare minimum they could have done for the dude, right? Civil rights attorneys Ben Crump and Harry Daniels are representing McNeil and have called for greater transparency.
The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, USOPC, has updated its athlete safety policy to effectively bar transgender women from competing in women's sports.
So, the governing bodies around the USOPC, such as US Fencing, are now required to align with the updated stance. US Fencing recently revised their own guidelines to restrict participation in the women's category to athletes who are biologically female, while allowing transgender men to compete in the men's division. The change takes effect on August 1st, 2025, and will directly influence eligibility rules ahead of the 2028 Summer Games in LA. Globally, the issue remains unsettled, though. While the International Olympic Committee released a 2021 framework emphasizing sport-specific, evidence-based eligibility criteria, it has since launched a working group to protect the female category in elite sports. World Athletics and other international bodies have already adopted broad bans on transgender women who have undergone male puberty. Though no openly transgender woman has ever won a medal in solo Olympic competition, the debate does continue to stir controversy, particularly amongst groups who argue that the new policies lack scientific consensus and create barriers without proven competitive advantage. Critics say that these measures may marginalize athletes without considering individual circumstances or fairness through a more nuanced lens. The revised framework reflects a growing trend amongst sports organizations to define gender eligibility more narrowly, and will likely influence both domestic and international discussions as the 2028 Olympics draw near. And on that piece of, man, this debate is just never gonna end, is it? News, I'm gonna call it. If you like what you saw here, do me a solid and hit that like button. Help spread some news. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Bye.